Okay, so we are in post show, and I'm so sorry. I first want to apologize to Amanda because, and Reb, because I mean, both of you read a lot of shit that we were going to talk about tonight, and we talked about like 2 of those things.
Haha, I fooled you. I barely read anything.
I assume
Fool, you thought we read things.
I assume the same is true of Amanda. I don't know what you posted to my Facebook page, but I'm so sorry, Amanda.
I'm still going to crazy murder you.
Chat room, fill up the chat with your opinions of that guy. I really thought, seriously, going into this, I thought this was going to be like a 15-minute conversation in which we would explain to him why he was stupid and wrong, and he would just say, "Oh, I guess I am an atheist." No, I'm serious.
What? Why would you ever think that?
How? When has that ever happened?
Well, let me tell you, because like so let me go back to his letter. He said, "I am no longer an atheist." As we can, Tech Leslie says, "Go fuck yourself." I'm so sorry. But let me defend myself here. He says, "I'm no longer an atheist, as we can neither prove nor disprove the actually, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and inserting nor instead of or. As we can neither prove or disprove the existence of God, it takes an act of faith to be an atheist." I'm like, okay, that's an easy thing to take down, right?
It's easy for us to understand and accept because we understand and accept it already.
But he's a conduit for God.
Yeah.
So
I guess. I don't know. But then the next sentence is, atheism is the second component of a false dichotomy. So I thought, and just like we did, I was like, we're going to tell him how it's theism versus atheism, a true dichotomy, and agnosticism versus Gnosticism, another true dichotomy. These are not things that...
Yeah, they intersect.
But they are not... Agnosticism is not a third thing.
Yeah.
You can't be theist, atheist, or agnostic. You are either theist or atheist.
Or
that
agnostic or an agnostic.
Exactly. So I thought... I thought that was going to be so easy to just knock that down. I thought literally it would be 15 minutes, not most of the goddamn show.
I figured at best it would have been 10 minutes of intro talking about how he came to where he is, and then another 15, 20 minutes of us talking about it. He had a lot to say. A lot.
A lot of really stupid shit. Well, and I want to be fair to him because, I appreciate the fact that he was willing to come in here. I mean, so here's the other thing is that he mentioned it during the show, but about an hour before broadcast, he sent me a message saying he was going to kick my ass.
Maybe it was like rhetorically, he was going to kick your ass during the show.
He said it was a joke, but I don't think it was a joke. I think it was one of those things where he'd like... After I responded to him, he decided it was a joke. but he mistook something I said about you, Reb.
Schrodinger's thread, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. But...
What did you say that he responded to?
So when I announced that we were going to have this theist on, this former atheist, I said, we're going to have this guy on, blah, blah, blah. Someone guessed, is it Reb? And I was like... probably. and the conversation went on, and I said, "Oh, but Reb is super flaky, so that seems like something he would do." And then I got this message from this guy saying, "Are you calling me flaky? Because I can disagree with you, but if you're going to call me names, I'm going to kick your ass." And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to go real bad, real quick." And I messaged Reb, and I was like, "I'm not going to tell you what just happened, but." Because I'm afraid that you might not show up. But this might be a lot more...
I could have been, as soon as you messaged me yesterday with oh yeah, we're going to have a guy too, we're going to talk about his beliefs. And I was like, oh, I have to be there. This is the thing I have to do.
It was so much worse than I anticipated.
Yeah, he had that line that I hate when people, it's like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And creating his own bullshit, it's the worst.
I am recording the post show. Ryan, thank you. Kitty Scary in the chat room says, please punch yourself in the face, Ferris, repeatedly. I'm so sorry. Did you hear the email? It seemed like this was going to be like I felt like this was going to be a triumphant, oh, we're going to tell you what being an atheist is, and we're all going to hug afterwards. No.
I had no intention that was going to be what was going to happen.
Planet? Where?
It's never happened in the past.
Are you kidding me?
It's never going to happen in the future.
No, we have plenty of members of Corpus Christi Atheists who have come in here saying, oh, I'm an agnostic, and who are now like, I'm an atheist and I want to eat babies and I want...
But they do that during the course of one 20-minute conversation.
No.
Or did you have the conversation with them? They went home, came back, went home, came back, conversation. It'd be like, oh, yeah.
It's more like that.
Yeah.
And or did any of these people ever go, hey, I'm not an atheist anymore. I now totally believe this bullshit.
Yeah, it sounds like whatever you said to him at meetups went the opposite.
Well, the other thing is that his email didn't say that he believed in God. And in fact, I was like really happy when he said, oh, I believe in God when he walked in before the show started. I was like, oh, this is going to be even better.
But not like it's his own spiritual God based all on his own experiences. And
how is this guy the only guy who got like the God philosophy professor?
Well,
like,
it's the confirmation bias God that he believes in. It's like, oh, my life has gotten better. It must be God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really, 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 really awful. I apologize. I'm sorry, Kitty Scary. I actually did punch myself in the face a little while ago, but
it needs to be harder.
I will punch myself harder.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Ferris. I accept it. I accept your criticism.
Thanks also for putting me down here beside
Well,
him.
this
so
is
that
my
I can
seat,
just like stare at the camera in desperate horror.
Help me. Help me.
This is where I sit. It has a permanent button print.
In my head, he was sitting in your seat.
But then you're afraid he was going to punch you, so.
There were a lot of things that did not go according to Ferris's plan, which I think is really a metaphor for life.
Yes.
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 Yeah, then when he was leaving, it's like, I wish you would have talked more. Your voice is so sexy. It's like,
Yeah,
that is my demographic. That's
creepy.
Like, old men find me really attractive. They're like the only one.
Only old men? No younger men ever find you?
No, not really. No.
I think you're attractive.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say.
And I'm younger than you.
Yeah, what I said to Reb beforehand was like, don't worry about this guy because he would never, ever, ever fit in with our group. So it's probably a good thing he's believing in God now because he was just not a good... Although he was very nice, the two of us, like, yelled at each other. Every time he came to meet up, we yelled at each other about stuff. But it was always good-natured and...
Well, I mean, he even admitted, he was kind of a conspiracy theorist and... with the whole aliens thing and the governments are hiding stuff from us.
No, he denied he was a conspiracy.
Well, he denied.
But the government's been trying to kill him since the 80s. I mean, that's not a conspiracy. That's just real life.
Let me explain.
I posted to the conversation on Facebook.
Oh my God. Tech Leslie in the chat room. She just reminded me of this. She said that's the shit he said to me at Big Sam's. He literally did say that to her. He said... you have such a sexy voice, and you're like
he said that to Leslie too?
Yeah, at a meetup. So yeah,
that's the worst.
Yeah. So Godspeed, little dude. Only other thing that I really had to talk about. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about this?
Bolathon is this weekend.
I'm so sorry we never got to that.
Yeah, strange how that happened. Bolathon for the Lilith Fund is this weekend, and the last couple weeks, the donation sites have actually been down because some stupid anti-choicers hacked them.
Now tell us about the hack, because I feel super unconfident about donating.
What they did is apparently they set up a bunch of... This is how they did it. Apparently what they did is they set up a bunch of like proxies to make fake donations until it just like overloaded the system.
It was a DDoS.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't even like we're going to change your site and make it like It wasn't even anything
Oh, so,
like
so they
fun.
just
It
brought
was
it
just,
down. They
yeah.
didn't actually steal anything.
Yeah, but then like the people had to go through all the data and figure out which were real donations and which weren't, and so it's been offline. We don't have our individual donation pages yet left or back yet, but you can still go to the site and make donations to the Lilith Fund. So I will post that address again on the Atheist Airwaves page.
And your group's going as the...
We are going to be the Vuvalini from Mad Max. Yeah.
You got your costumes all made and ready?
Yeah, I was working on that last night, so very excited.
What's your costume got going for it?
Awesomeness?
Well, I mean,
I'll be in it, so... And I'm super sexy, so... Woo!
Will your voice be accompanying you to...
Yes,
Okay,
one
excellent.
hopes. Yeah,
so just like a post-apocalyptic kind of...
yeah, kind of steampunky. We're going thrift shopping this week. I think that's my
always
plan.
fun.
So
There's so much shade being thrown at me from the chat room. Like, I'm not used to this amount of shade. I thought it would be entertaining, and honestly, I think parts of it might have been. I guess we'll find out. You guys.
was it anyone not in this room? Was that at all entertaining? I did not find it thus.
Well, I thought it was funny because, like, all right, we're going to start doing stories now. And we started doing a story, the Ferris is like, you know what? I want to talk about your shit again.
I was just
Fuck this.
It's like,
You're I couldn't help it. Well, like he said something stupid. I'm like, that is like the opposite of what you were just saying. How can we? What? It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Yes, it is.
It's not my fault. I wanted to talk briefly about Prince, just because he died.
I was not a big fan of Prince.
Dude.
So I never listened to his music or anything.
Dude.
It's kind of like that other guy that died with a lightning bolt on his face. People love.
David Bowie.
David Bowie?
Yeah,
Are
him,
you
yeah,
kidding
I
me?
never-
I cared more about David Bowie
I
than
never
Prince,
really listened
but
to him either.
See, I'm the opposite.
I know, like, there's a couple songs I've heard from him that are okay, but like in no way did I ever like keep up with their career or anything.
Ryan in the chat room suggests that we do a couple of reads for the Bullathon promo after post show so we can slip them in. Tech Leslie agrees, and I think that's an okay thing to do, but we should do that. What the fuck is wrong with you, Ferris? Are you high or just dumb, aka? Yes, I am
So both.
high and dumb. I thought... Whatever. Okay, so... But I did not know that Prince had converted to Jehovah's Witnesses in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
I don't know that either.
And like to the point where there are stories of people who he went knocking on their door, giving them the watchtower.
Nice.
Which I gotta say, like I have a lot of people knocking on my door with that shit, but
It
none
was
of them are like
Prince.
Prince.
Shit, son. I'd be like, come
on in, right?
Yeah.
Well, Prince
like-
was pretty weird, right? So I mean, that's within his
He
wheelhouse
was
of
pretty
things
weird.
He would probably
And
do.
yeah. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. So like that makes me not like Prince as much as I did, and I'm just like, I wish he was still alive, and I knew that he was a Jehovah's Witness, because I'd like to ask him, how do you reconcile pussy control with your Jehovah's Witnesses thing? How does that happen?
Well, you could ask the same question to that cat scratch fever guy,
Ted Nugent.
Ted
Ted Nugent. I mean,
Yeah.
same deal.
Yeah.
One's about raping a child, and
Yeah.
you know,
Pussy Control is actually a good song. If you like read
No,
the-
it's an
yeah,
awesome song.
Yeah. It's yeah.
It's empowerment and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not the kind of song that you expect from a Jehovah's Witness, is what I'm saying.
what did you expect? Like bat dance from him either? I mean,
That was the cool thing about Prince. He was just doing crazy shit all the time. Just
although I did watch a little video that talked about like his career and his body of work, and I didn't realize how many songs he had written for other people that
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that,
And,
that,
like-
I, that I do know, and like so yeah.
yeah, and like on his first 5 albums, I think he played every instrument on the album.
Wow.
Like, the man was insane.
Yeah, I've seen some, like that retrospective had a lot of his him playing instruments, and he seemed very talented. I just never got into him.
My grandmother was like, I guess you heard that Prince died, and I was like, yeah,
I have
it's sad.
Facebook.
Yeah, and she was like, well, I guess that was after my time, and I was like, yeah, probably, because you're 87, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Just
she
a
was
little
probably not jamming to Pussy Control, is what I'm saying. But she was like, well, he wasn't much to look at, was he? And I just blurted to my grandmother, I don't know anyone who didn't want to fuck Prince.
Yeah. For me, it would kind of depend on what haircut he was sporting at the time. Sometimes they had haircuts that look, ooh.
So it's really weird because the chat room, like, one person said that this show was the second best show ever. Others are saying this was probably the worst show ever, or it was the worst show, not probably. So I don't know. Let us know when it comes out.
But now you can get on Google Play Podcasts as well.
What?
And I will post video later of me crazy murdering Ferris.
I submit to your crazy murdering. I really do. I thought that was going to be a 15-minute conversation in which we were going to explain to him what atheism meant and what agnosticism meant, and that was going to be the end of it. And we were, like, honestly, I had a sound file ready to do like intro audio that was different, so we could like start the show over and add with him as a co-host. I was totally taken aback that he's that.
No, I mean, it's this whole thing. It's like, it's not even faith-based. It's all confirmation bias-based. So there's like, just because my life is great now, God must be true. And completely discounts all the bad experiences he had in his life. Did he also do those to you? Or, oh, you were disconnected from the conscious stream of conduits.
You were not the conduit then.
Yeah.
Right, the conduit was dead at that point, but then he reactivated it through his faith.
Or no, it activated on its own, and then once it activated, you realize, oh, shit's going good for me now. Now I'm going to convert to this conduit thing, my bob. It's just full of holes. It's full of holes.
A little bit it is.
This hovercraft is full of eels.
What is that a reference to?
Oh, it's from Monty Python.
Wow.
I guess
Oh yeah, that's what I say when things are just too bizarre. It's like this little foreign guy, and he's got like a translation book, and he's trying to have a conversation.
Oh.
But these are the things that his book tells him to say, and he thinks he's carrying on a perfectly normal conversation. The other guy is just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This hovercraft is full of eels. Yeah.
Red Leader in the chat room says he said that once he became open to the idea of God, his life improved. But then he also said that
he didn't get any help.
Yeah, didn't get any help except for that governmental organization that gave him like grants to go to school.
All the fucking money.
He had to go through a board to get it approved, but
it was God. God was on the board.
Yeah, and then he had no response to how people would have good lives without doing that. And Mike in the chat room says, if that's his bullshit reasoning, how does he explain people whose lives get better when they become atheists? We asked him that question.
So it's like, my life's great right now, and I don't believe in God. So
how? And it was just like,
no answer to that.
Conduits.
I'm not saying it's conduits, but it's conduits. Oh, we might have to name the show after the post show one more time, just cause. There
was something else he said that really irked me, but it goes back to the governmental thing. It's always my favorite thing when people said, no one ever helped me when I was down and out and shit, and it's like, did you get food stamps?
Well, yeah.
Well then, you're full of shit.
You're fucking welcome. This was my fucking tax money, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a bad person for using food stamps.
Hooray,
They're there for you when you need them.
And that is literally what he said. Was like, because he said, "Oh, I got this money to go to school," and I was like, well, isn't that a government thing that was given to you? No. Because they denied me.
Yeah, they gave me a hard time at first.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
And then I appealed it. I'm like, isn't the appeal part of the process? Wow.
But, I had to work for it a little bit before I got it. They can't.
Why didn't the government just give it to me?
It's always my favorite. I love that. There's a Fox News clip of someone who's like, "No one ever helped me. My mom was on food stamps and all this stuff, and we had to pull ourselves up." They're just like, "But you're on food stamps.
Yeah.
People did help you.
Surprise. Yeah.
There's a government there set up for you to help you."
Yeah, and like my grandma does that stuff. She's like, even in the Depression, like we had a little bit of money because my parents both had jobs that, like, my great grandmother was a nurse, and even when, the Depression, people still needed nursing.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Apparently. So they still had some money. And she's like, we had our garden and we'd share what we had. And I was like food stamps, but before food stamps. Right. And she's like, no, it was just neighbors. And I'm like, okay, so socialism is just neighbors being neighborly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's son is like, oh yeah, when we were poor, like the local chapter of some organization, they would pick a family to help them for Christmas, and they did that for our family once, and it was like, that wasn't God, that was that organization that gave you money for Christmas. God damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking to understand how the shit works. That money didn't just apparate out of existence.
God was like, let there be money.
There were people that did a survey of all the families in the area who needed help, and we were one of them, and they gave you money and presents for me for Christmas.
Yay!
Tech Leslie in the chat room says recommends a show title. Just this time we promise. I can't even promise that. I've learned my lesson a little bit.
Yeah, we even kind of invited him back 6 months from now if he learns anything new.
Does Ferris ever learn a lesson?
Maybe we can just get him to maybe next time we can just get him to phone in.
Can you offer evidence that I don't learn that? Okay, never mind. Don't answer that question. Do not answer that fucking question.
Let's open that box, shall we?
Mask Maker in the chat room says it's like my argument from Pareidolia. Pareidolia proves there is no God. I like that.
What is pareidolia?
That's where you see patterns where they're, like the people who see faces on Mars and stuff, or
number
clouds.
patterns and shit.
Yeah. Massmaker also says if appearing on the toast is the best he can do, he is no God. Okay, I believe that.
Showtime. I thought it was a good idea.
Christian Ferris, 2016, Planet Earth, Soul System. Tech Leslie says show title: The failures happen to perpetuate progress. I'm sorry. What can I? And no, but seriously, I honestly thought this would be 15 minutes. I honestly thought we were gonna breeze through all these stories and have 15 minutes left to kill.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I do think I remember Michael Mays, but I think he was on the opposite side of the table. I think I was on the butt end and you were on the, I don't know. I guess it probably wasn't much of a brain end at that particular time.
Red Leader, kiss my ass. Not even reading that shit. You can kiss my ass.
But see, what happened was...
No, we're done. Thank you guys for sticking with us, and thank you for coming out.
And giving us a plethora of ideas for show titles.
Right. I do apologize. If you read the damn email,
if he had just talked about what was in his email, it would have been a nice,
15-minute
condensed, it would have been a nice little conversation about faith and why we don't have faith as atheists, and
and it was not that.
It was not. I mean, he literally walked in here and he's like, "Oh yeah, you remember last time I talked to you? Oh, I'm now a Christian now, or something." Right, yeah. But then you talk to him and he's like, No, I'm not a Christian.
I'm spiritual.
Right now. For the purposes of this conversation, because you guys are trapping me, I am not a Christian anymore. I am now just Thomas Aquinas or something now.
He came in here talking about Thomas Aquinas like he was some really great philosopher. It's Thomas Aquinas' shit was weak, dude. I don't know who you've been talking to. Well, I do know because he told us some TAMUCC guy.
Was it TAMUCC? I thought it was Delmar.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
no,
you said
Delmar. You're right,
Yeah.
Delmar. Oh, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
fucking sense.
Congratulations, you're a philosophy professor at Delmar.
He reminds me of Baha'i or whatever with the all the different religious figures are all part of the same cosmos of prophets and shit. And it's like why wasn't my cat toy relevant enough
Right?
to qualify for his revelations?
Because it didn't jazz him enough. It really didn't tweak his.
Yeah, he can't look at
testicles.
porn on it, I guess.
But like literally right before the show, he threatened to kick my ass, and then when I said, "Oh, we're gonna be really fair to you and whatever," he said,
I thought we were fair to him.
I did too.
We let
I
him-
started being a bit of a dick later on because I was just tired of his
He's
shit.
like, that was offensive.
But he also said, "Oh yes, I've heard how you tag team and marginalize opposing views." I'm like, what?
I've never slapped your hand yet to like, all right, your turn, buddy.
Right? That's not a thing that's happened. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys. Anyone who's still listening to this.
16 people.
Yeah. Down from 20. That's not. Like, I feel like you guys are just self-loathing at this point.
I think it's mostly Ferris loathing.
they hate me so much that they're like, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting until he's dead. The show needs to start with the email scrolling in Star Wars style.
I
Oh
love
my
this
God.
idea.
That is such a great idea.
I love this idea. Leslie, you are my hero.
There's probably some sort of generator online for that.
Oh, there is. I've used it before, but I don't know whether I can make that happen. But I'll consider it.
Is that copyright?
Do or
No,
do
no, no.
not.
Well, because if you were to splice it into the YouTube video,
No. It's open source. You can totally. It's actually a tool from Lucasfilm,
Oh,
so
okay,
you can
that's cool.
totally use it. Yeah. So maybe I'll do that, and that would be amazing. But
we could just put the video up, but just by itself on the Facebook page or whatever.
whatever. Okay. See you guys next week. Bye. And maybe we'll let Amanda talk next time.
Yay!
Maybe.
It's
said
probably
maybe.
a good thing you didn't talk, or he probably would have jizzed his pants. Apparently, so.
Apparently that was the thing. Yeah.
His boner would have grown by 8 inches, or whatever the math is for his erections. I forget how the joke went.
Okay. Seriously. Goodbye.